Players Pick Podcast, picks and perspective with Chris Johnson. Pool table.
This is NAMM 2020. We're broadcasting from the Gator booth, Gator Cases. And this is Players Pick Podcast. I'm not sure which episode it is right now because I'm recording new episodes with you.
Awesome.
Thanks so much for meeting me here and being willing to talk about guitar picks and things.
Yeah. Happy that you picked me.
I picked you.
Yep.
You bearded beast, you. Are you still loving the pancakes?
Yeah, I don't eat pancakes all that much anymore because I try to stay healthy, you know.
What?
Well, I'm way beyond 40 now, you know, so I didn't go to my checkup, you know, my 40-year checkup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I don't want to know.
You don't want to know.
I don't want to know.
Yeah, it's too many pancakes and too many bacons in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you seem to be healthy. You seem to look good. Have you kind of cut back a little bit, and that's where you're?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah. Okay, that's good.
Yeah. I'm not drinking as much as I used to either, so.
Good.
Yeah.
That's kind of a common theme lately. A lot of people are cutting back and trying to stay alive. I mean, imagine that.
Yeah.
Maybe just a little longer, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is our like tradition is for all of us NAMMers. We come here just about every year and hang out and try to see all our favorite people. And you're one of the people that I always try to see and try to like go do something with. And we kind of catch each other, but we don't get to usually sit and catch up.
Yeah, it's been a while since we had a proper hang.
That's right. Because I think it was like since you were up in Santa Rosa with your wife, really.
And we had bacon in the batter.
Waffles. That's right. Bacon in the batter waffles. Yeah. Man, my mouth starts salivating when I even think about
yeah.
that. It's one of my favorite things.
I just had a salad.
Oh. So now you can think about bacon in the batter waffle as well.
Yeah.
Because you had a salad. It's good. Well, on Players Pick Podcast, you know, I'm always curious about when your relationship to the guitar pick or plectrum, when did that start? Do you remember who might have given you one of your first guitar picks or what it was?
Well, when I started playing the guitar, I was 10 years old, and my dad played guitar. So he taught me the first chord, and I guess he gave me the first pick. And I think the first pick I had was one he made on his own. But back in the day, he bought coffee in like tin cans, like big tin cans, and they always had a plastic lid. So when you open it, you put the plastic lid on it.
Right.
And he cut picks from that plastic lid.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Was it like fairly stiff, or was it kind of flexible?
No, it was pretty flexible, I guess. I mean,
yeah.
It's some years has passed.
Sure, a few.
Yeah. So that's like my first pick memory, I guess.
Was a coffee can lid.
Yep. And then the next pick I used was like a shark fin.
Oh, is the Dunlop shark fin with the little ridges on the side?
Exactly.
Really?
Yeah. So to me, that was what a pick looked like. Like a proper commercial pick.
That's amazing. How'd you find that pick?
My dad had that.
He had that too?
Yeah, he didn't only have his own made ones.
Okay, and so he played with those picks too, that off the coffee can lid, and then he also had some shark fins laying around?
Yeah. And
what kind of music did your dad play?
Like 50s and 60s music.
Like rock and roll kind of like stuff, or?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Like Stones, Chuck Berry,
okay,
Beatles. He had a band that played that kind of music, and they rehearsed in our basement.
Wow.
So as soon as I knew a few chords, I went down there with them and plugged the guitar in and jammed along. You know, I kept the amp really, really low at first, and once I got to know the songs better, I turned it up, and after a few years, I actually started playing lead in the band.
Wow.
Yeah, because the lead guitar players quit, so then I took over, and you know, I got to play the intro for Johnny B. Good and stuff like that.
Wow, that's so cool that you got to be in your dad's band.
Yeah.
And how long did that last? Did you guys play out live anywhere?
Yeah, we did, like at private parties and such.
Mm-hmm.
So Yeah, well, they had that band for like 10 years or so.
Wow. And so about how old were you when you first started like playing like?
Maybe 12 or 13 when I just started jamming with them, and maybe 15 when I started gigging with them.
Wow.
So, and for me that was like a really good like school, learning old rhythm and blues songs, and
I can imagine.
yeah,
That's a good
and
place to start.
all the old pop songs.
Yeah. And so was your dad your main guitar teacher? Did you have other guitar teachers post that?
Like my dad, as he says himself, like after a few weeks, I knew all the chords he knew, and I played them faster. So.
Wow. So he must have been really proud to watch you just take it and run, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's cool. Is your dad still around?
Yeah, he is.
Cool.
Yeah.
Does he still play?
No, not really.
No.
I guess he picks up the guitar, once a year.
Okay.
So.
Just to kind of run through the old tunes, or?
I don't know. He's got one of my Strandbergs actually. Yeah, he bought one.
Whoa. You couldn't get one for free? Oh man.
No, I guess I could.
Ola Strandberg. Man.
Or if I gave him that one.
I'm just kidding.
You know what? I think I owed him money.
Oh.
And I said, "Do you want a guitar?" And said,
"Hey, Dad, I'll take care of that debt.
Yeah.
Here's a really nice guitar. Has my name on it.
Yeah.
It's my jam." No, that's cool though. Does he enjoys it, like the modern feel of it?
I don't know. It's a 7-string, so.
So he's maybe a little lost.
Yeah. I don't think he plays that one a lot. He's got an acoustic guitar.
Got it.
Yeah.
And do you remember what was the evolution of the guitar picks that you like? How did you get to play what you're playing now? Like.
I mean, no serious electric guitar player plays a shark fin or a coffee lid pick, So it didn't take long until I, discovered the more harder picks. But I can't remember what I used then. But then a few years later, when I was like 16, when I went to music school and started practicing like crazy, when guitar started, becoming, the thing I did every week an hour. Then I remember like going to the music store and buying like every pick that I was interested in. So I could have like 20 picks in my pocket at any given time, and I was constantly, like rotating between them, like trying to figure out which one, sounded the best and was most efficient, for playing fast, because I was super technique oriented at the time.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't before long that I settled on the Jazz 3, the Dunlop Jazz 3 pick.
Yeah.
And that's like been my main pick ever since.
And were you playing the nylon Jazz 3s for a while, and before the Tortex?
Is that the red and black?
Yeah, the red and black ones. They're nylon. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I played the black one.
Okay. Are you playing those or the Tortex now?
The Tortex.
The Tortex.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you find that same pick it's good for all of your bands, all of your styles? I mean, now you're doing the Meshuggah thing too. And
pretty much. Yeah, it's got the definition and attack and like the tone.
Yeah.
That I dig.
That's super cool. And it's the regular size. It's not the XL, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Small
Yeah, because I remember
one.
we did a couple of custom prints for you at Dunlop, and for like Nocturnal Rites.
Yep.
Yeah, and for
Scar
Symmetry
and Meshuggah.
And Meshuggah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, what's your what's going on right now with all your bands? Are you doing still doing more Meshuggah live stuff, or are you working on Scar Symmetry, or?
I'm doing a bit of everything. Like right now, we're not touring with Meshuggah. Like next tour is this summer. So now I'm in the studio and finishing up the new Scar Symmetry album.
Cool.
After that, I think we're gonna do a new album with Nocturnal Rites. We haven't done anything in a little bit, so yes, I'm doing all kinds of things.
Amazing.
Doing guest solos every now and then.
Yeah. Do you have any plans or interest in doing a solo record?
Oh yeah,
Really?
Yeah, I mean that's really the thing that I would like to do the most. But for some reason I get caught up in like big tours with Meshuggah and stuff, I guess.
So you think that like the workload? I mean, with 3 bands is a lot to juggle.
Sometimes it's a lot, and like throughout the years it's been also other stuff. I mean, I haven't had a day job in a while, but some years ago I also had a day job, to be financially secure. Yes, I've had stuff like that, and now I have a kid.
Yeah.
He's 7 months now, so
It's a cutie.
yeah, it's the best. So
I love seeing pictures of him.
yeah,
Yeah. And
he's so happy.
oh man, looks like it.
Yeah, people write to me and they ask me if we like give him some drugs or something.
Nope, just bacon and pancakes.
Yep,
Yep. Just grind it up, put it in the bottle.
exactly. Yeah.
Well, in that process, I mean, so, yeah, because you have a wife and a kid on top of 3 bands, so that's a whole lot. So,
Yep.
I'm curious though, what were you doing for a day job when you were working a day job?
Well, I've had a few, but the thing that I've been doing most of my adult life is like work with like taking care of old people and handicapped people.
Really?
So
In-
caregiver.
In-home care type stuff?
Yeah.
Wow, my mother and my sister both do that.
Yeah.
Have done it through the years a lot anyway.
Yeah. So it's a cool gig.
And it's like end of life care too? Like do you end up having a lot of people pass away with you in that way, or is it more like just
Well, it has happened a few times, but
yeah.
it's not that common.
And you found that rewarding though, to do that work?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I remember in 2007 we did our first US tour with Symmetry, and it was like a big success. It was really fun. Got to meet a lot of fans, and sign boobs and like male boobs.
Male boobs.
Yeah, of course. We don't
Yes.
have much female fans. But like last show was at the Avalon Theater in LA,
Okay.
and like the audience was singing along to the songs, and like it was ridiculous. Like our first tour here. So when I got home, it was like got to the grocery store and like no one's asking for an autograph. I'm like, what's happening? and that felt a bit weird. But the next day I was back to my day job, and at that time I worked at a daycare thing for people with dementia. So it was like old people there who like they couldn't even speak anymore, didn't know their own name. Like, they didn't reply if you talked to them. But then I sat down with them with a guitar and sang like old Swedish tunes. And these old people, they start singing, and then they sing full sentences. They don't even really speak anymore. And suddenly,
Wow.
a part of their brain opens up because of music, and words come out. And that was like a really powerful moment for me, because I felt so blessed that a couple of nights ago I was in front of 1,000 people singing my songs, and now I'm in this precious moment with these old people, and for them, music, had the same power, profound experience.
That's amazing. I actually recently heard somewhere that that music can be some sort of key for people going through dementia and memory loss, because a key to help bring them back and help them remember, because for some reason they're finding out that music is one of the things that's not lost, like in the brain, like in our older age. So that like, and I found that with my grandma too, as she got older. If I put on some songs that were from her youth that she really grew up with, then all of a sudden she kind of knew where she was.
Yeah.
She had a feeling, even if it wasn't complete. It sparked a new memory, a fresh memory of her life, and connected her back to the present in a way.
I believe music is the closest thing we have to magic.
I would say so. I think we're
and
all
it's a
hooked.
time machine,
Well, that's the truth, right?
especially if you hear something that you haven't heard since way back.
Oh man.
Then it's
memories.
like you remember smells. You remember how it felt when the sun, hit your face when you were 15. And
I
if
distinctly,
that's not powerful, I don't know what is.
so powerful. Like you're saying that, and I remember as like I was in second grade or something, and the album Tears for Fears, songs from the Big Chair had come out, and I was so into that song, Shout, Let It All Out. And but I didn't have personally any music thing, but my stepdad had a Walkman and had that cassette, and he said, "Hey, go rake the lawn here." And I was like, "Okay, I want to listen to the Walkman though," and I got to put the headphones on and do my yard work.
Yeah.
Listening to these tunes, and I remember the way the sun felt on my skin that day, like being in the yard and the smells. And so when I hear that music, I have this early childhood, like almost like I'm transported, like you said, time machine.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And there's like some songs, there's stuff that I don't want to listen to too much today, because I want to keep the songs, to keep them as a key to
those particular memories.
Yeah.
Oh, I hadn't thought about
because
that.
music that I have been listening to, the 30 years or so that has passed, then they take on, new meaning.
True.
Well, at least for me.
I can see that. For a long time, I associated certain songs with certain relationships, ex-girlfriend, this or that, and I was always really hard to listen to those songs because then you're conjuring memories of a defunct relationship.
Yeah.
And whether you're on good terms or not good terms, and I remember for a long time omitting a certain amount of music for that same way, but I hadn't thought about it just in a regular good memory where I'm like, I don't want to listen to that music too much, like I'll hold on to it and only break it out every once in a while type of thing, so you don't kind of like associate it with new things as much as you want it to continue to conjure the old original experience. That's really cool. And with the power of music, how it brings us together, look at this. Look at this. They're like, I don't know how many tens of thousands of people are here at this event, but it's so powerful that every year it brings a bunch of like-minded people together to just geek out and nerd out about the equipment that helps us make the music.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a really strong thing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any particular memories that you associate, like that you would like to share with us? Like, is there a particular song that, maybe it's a Swedish song that we don't know or something, but a fond memory?
I can't really think of any special one. Not that it's connected, to a special event or so.
Mm-hmm.
Not really. It's more like, the songs that were the soundtrack to your, 5th grade or so.
Okay.
Maybe something like The Power of Love by Peter Cetera.
Oh yeah.
That was like something that was played during the parties we had when I was like 12 or 13. First time I made out with a girl. And, stuff like that.
Yeah. I wonder what was playing when I first met out with a girl.
Now my wife knows why I listen to that song a lot.
Sorry. It makes, I think of, for me, other than like the Tears for Fears thing, I think of the early years of my life. I remember Fleetwood Mac being played around like at my mom and my uncle and aunt's house a lot when I was really young. Some of the first music I ever really remember hearing was like Stevie Nicks and Fleetwood Mac doing those original, like that Rumors album, the big album with all those great tunes. So every time I hear that, I'm just like, wow, it's like it conjures a little time in my life. But like as you're saying, as you're pointing out, through my years, each time I kind of listen to that and it becomes a part of the current soundtrack also,
Yeah.
which is kind of a mixed memory then at that point. Kind of an interesting point there. Well, with all the things going on in life and all your experience being such an international shred master of all kinds of bands and getting to join one of your favorite bands and be in Meshuggah now, I'm curious how has your worldview kind of shaped? Like, have you learned anything really interesting that you could kind of share with us that like might be kind of like a life hack or?
I don't know. I guess like from traveling, you learn that people are more similar than they are not. You know.
Yeah.
I guess. You know?
Despite language differences and geographical location.
Yeah. I mean, especially when you meet music lovers, fans. You know. People are cool everywhere you go.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any type of belief system? Do you have like are you spiritual at all, or?
I want to believe in that guy.
the Gator case guy.
Yeah.
What's up, Gator?
Yeah.
All hail Gator.
Yeah. I feel like I'm like my attention is drifting towards him.
Yeah.
Yep. Do you have those kinds of dresses here?
Can we get a Gator costume here at the Gator booth? No. No.
Yep.
So no, were you raised with a religion or anything? Or?
No. My parents are very secular.
Would you call them atheist or would?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay. And is that common in Sweden? Is it more common to not have religion there?
It is.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. It's not very common to be religious.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
more educational there. More like just go to the school system and learn about the world without that filter.
Yeah. I think we have good education, and I mean we've been, reasonably wealthy for a long time. So, and then people are safe. They have a roof over their head, and they have food in their stomachs, and they can feed their children and have health care and everything. Then you can dispose of all like old crap like religion.
Mm-hmm. There's no need for with no religion. Like, why are you a nice guy? Like, why are you a good person? Why don't you kill people?
Yeah, that's the conundrum.
Yeah, right. Because so many people, I jokingly I ask that because so many people will put all the weight. Well, religion is good because
religious people never did anything bad.
Oh, never.
Yeah.
Never, not once. Well, if I find it curious, because like I'm always interested to find out how did you become a decent human being? Was it just your parents? Was it what keeps you tuned in at this point? And in some ways, it sounds like music is a part of your religion. It
might be, yeah. But I think not like being a good person. I think that's built into us.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's the natural state, and that we divert from that and become assholes. I think that's that happens because things happen, but that's not the natural state of being.
So our innate goodness is where we start, and then we learn the negative. We learn to be selfish, and
I think so. I'm certainly no expert, but
yeah. But from your point of view,
I mean, like small kids, they can have a strong sense of empathy, like from like really really small age.
It's true.
So I guess they can be assholes too. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I mean, they keep you up at night for how long?
Yeah.
I mean, they don't know they're doing it, right? It's not intentional. But I mean, unintentionally, kids are life destroyers potentially,
Yeah.
But they give so much joy too at the same time, because I think when parents, anytime with even not being a parent, if you orient yourself towards being of service to the world, then something happens in you by giving to another person. And then when you become a parent, I mean, that came from you. And it's like you have a DNA a responsibility to this being, and then you probably just have to like drop everything and do it, right? I'm not a parent, so I can only imagine it, you know.
No, yeah, that's it.
Do you feel like this unwavering love scenario?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. I mean, I didn't know. I mean, you know that everyone tells you that it's like things are gonna be crazy. You're gonna be in love more than you ever thought you could be.
Mm-hmm.
Like you would discover things you didn't know existed. And I was like, well, that sounds a bit religious to me. Like, you know.
Yeah.
Like, but then, like the second my little man popped out, I was like, you know, like a switch, something switched in my brain, and I was like, I was a different person.
Wow.
Like, okay, I'm not me anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm me.
Now it's the new you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I guess that's a common feeling.
Yeah, that's what I hear repeated over and over, and I have great friends that have children, and I can relate only through my dog. You know, my dog and my cat that passed away last year. You know, rest in peace, Pat. And he actually,
Sorry to hear.
I had to have him put down last NAMM while I was here on Saturday. I wasn't there. He got out and was wandering around. And
oh yeah.
he was just not doing good. He was already 18 years old, you know. But one of my best friends for 18 years.
Yeah.
And
I used to have pets.
yeah.
Yeah.
No pets no more?
I developed an allergy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
To cats and dogs, or?
Yeah. All furry things.
Wow. Is it just like a mild allergy or a severe?
It's pretty mild.
Yeah.
But still, I can't live with a cat or a dog. But I used to have cats, and I've had a cat that I loved. He passed.
Okay.
He got ill and, you know, passed quickly.
Yeah.
And it's like having a child is like having a pet times 1,000. But it's a bit the same feeling, you know. You have a little critter that, you know, you're responsible for, and like its well-being depends on you.
Yeah.
And you're connected, and your bodies and.
So connected.
Yeah.
I mean, my cat was great, and I loved him. We were really good friends until the end. Like when he was a total asshole. Like because he just kind of got his own dementia, and had to poop everywhere, and like just kind of started losing life, you know. But in the last 6 years having my dog, Kimsey, she is like, I mean, if I can't have a family as a kid, like I'll have that dog. That dog will go anywhere and do anything with me, anytime.
And a dog's different than a cat because like you have a different sort of connection.
Yeah.
Like it's like real eye contact, and it's a different sort of communication.
They're longing for your attention.
The cat is an egomaniac.
Totally.
And you're the cat's servant. You know.
100%.
The dog, that can get really close.
It's a symbiotic thing now for sure. Like the way we're at, because I work from home now, and I get to spend a lot more time with the dog, and so I notice how well she picks up on my words now. There's a lot of words that I would pass by her a couple years ago, but now I might even start to say a word. She's like, I got it. I know what we're doing. She's at the door. She's ready to go. She's going to do the thing. Yeah. And it's just like a pure, unadulterated like joy that they express. And I know that's like young kids have that same kind of like about the world, right? Yeah. And it's always new. It's always fresh.
And you can learn from that.
I am learning from that.
Try to tap in on that.
Yeah. I bet that's, it says only 7 months, your little guy. What's his name? Henry. So he's maybe starting to walk now, or?
He's sort of crawling. Trying to make its way, you know.
Yeah. So in the next 3 months or something, you'll probably start to see him get more mobile.
Yep. Yeah, it's happening like day by day. Things happen. And last week I was ill for a few days, I came down with a fever, and so I had to sleep in my office, because I didn't want the kid to get sick. And so I didn't spend a lot of time with him. I certainly didn't have him in my lap and stuff. So after those 3 days or so, when I picked him up again, I was like, holy crap, you've grown. And he looked at me with a different gaze, It's
Really?
Like he understood more.
Okay.
Which was really weird.
That's got to be amazing to watch that happen.
Yeah. Oh, I just remembered, since now we're sitting here at Gator Cases,
Yeah.
I have a cat and case story.
Okay.
One cat I had, when he started, what do you call it, when he reached puberty?
Oh, yeah.
And he started, he was moaning all the time. It was like, I need to find a partner.
Yeah.
And one day I was sitting in my little studio room, and he comes in, and I'm playing the guitar, and on the floor is my case, and it's wide open. And he comes in, he watches me as he struts in, and then he sits in the case, looks me straight in the eye, and pees.
Oh.
And he's his legs, he spreads his leg wide,
Marking territory.
Yep.
In my case now.
Yep.
In that case, did you ever get to use that case again?
No,
It's done.
it smelled horrible.
Ugh.
But 5 minutes later, I booked the time for him to get neutered.
Ah. So he was like, hey, you need to cut me.
Yep.
And this is the official proof.
Yep.
Wow. Man. There's not much
There
that smells.
goes your balls, little man.
little furry nuts are gone now.
So, and I tell Henry that story as a cautionary tale.
Little man.
Yep.
See that guitar case? It's not where you pee.
Yep. You pee where I say you pee, or the balls, goes.
Your balls are not as furry as the last guy. Did you keep the balls?
Yeah. I had them as a necklace for many years.
Right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's to warn others too. Let them know.
Yeah.
Make sure they know. Cats. There's not much that smells worse than cat pee. That's one of the worst things.
It's horrible.
I don't know what their system does to make it stink so bad, but
Yeah.
it's incredible.
But one time we had a dog visit, and we're sitting in the kitchen, and my friend is like, it smells like cat pee, and he was petting the dog.
Uh-huh.
And then it was we realized the cat pee smell came from the dog's mouth.
Oh, because
He was in the toilet where we had the little cat, the litter box, and he find those little.
They call them kitty roca.
Yeah.
Like almond roca, but kitty roca. Like my dog used to try to eat the poop out of the cat box. Horrible.
Yep. And the dog didn't watch him for a few minutes, and he had some snacks.
Nasty.
Yeah.
Nasty.
So,
So what's going on right now? You said that you're possibly doing Nocturnal Rites stuff right now.
I'm doing the new Scar Symmetry album.
Scar Symmetry, sorry.
And it's almost finished.
This is the one that everybody's waiting for, right?
Yeah.
It's part 2.
Yep. Last one came out over 5 years ago.
Yeah. Oh man, my buddy here somewhere, Ryan, he was coming by trying to get me to be distracted, but he's like, I can't wait for that album. That's the album. A lot of people are really anticipating that.
Yeah.
So you're pretty far along then?
Everything's written. Most of the stuff is recorded. I've got some backing vocals and some solos.
Okay.
And some keyboards.
Cool.
Left to do.
Maybe later this year we'll see it?
Absolutely this year.
Oh, this year? Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's gonna be really cool. And the album is quite a bit different than the previous Scar Symmetry albums.
Really?
Because since we're doing a trilogy, I'm taking the opportunities for each album to stretch out in a new direction. A bit at least. So the first part that's out that we released in 2014, that's very progressive and melodic. So that sort of shows off the extreme of that side of music for us.
Mm-hmm.
So this new one goes like in the opposite direction in many ways. It's like much more brutal and harsh
Wow.
and heavy, and there's like blast beats and
Wow. That's
Yeah.
exciting.
crazy stuff.
Do you think that hanging out with Meshuggah has influenced you?
No, because I wrote the album like 3 years ago.
Okay.
So it's just that the process has taken a long time. The fact that I got the Meshuggah gig is part of why it has taken me so long,
Right.
because we had done Scar Symmetry for so long, and I was looking for a bit of a break, for the band.
Yeah.
So the Meshuggah thing came up, and it was just good timing, at least for me.
Yeah.
But the other guys have stayed busy as well.
That's great. Do you think what's the current state with Meshuggah? Are you going to be a part of writing process for a new record? Is Frederick I assume he's still going to write as well, or
Well, he's still doing his side thing. He's still working.
Special Defects?
For all I know, he's like still doing his studio. I think the studio is done now. It's like
yeah, it
took
seems-
some time to build that.
Yeah.
From what I heard, it's like this is the motherfucker of a studio.
Yeah, he's got so many amps in there. I've seen so many cool pictures and
Yeah.
the drum kit he has. Well, I have multiple drum kits.
It's built like an analog Axe-Fx or so. Like,
Yeah,
I think it's like
the amp
if
switcher.
it's 32 amps times 32 cabs, and you can switch to anyone, at any time just by the flick of a button.
Wow,
Uh,
it's a lot of tubes.
it's crazy,
A lot of
and
tubes.
and a lot of wiring.
Yeah,
Like like the patch bay for that. Like, what do you reckon that weighs?
too much. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Now since he's doing that, and I guess that he's still working on his solo album. So I don't know where it's at, but I've been asked to do the shows this summer,
Mhm.
and beyond that I don't know. But I know they're writing
Cool.
for a new album. I've heard some songs and they are awesome.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Are any of the other guys here? Tomas is gonna be here.
Yeah, only Thomas.
Okay. No Martin and
No, they decided to stay home.
okay. That's good for them though. I mean, could take a year off every once in a while. They're
Yeah.
here pretty often, so that's cool. And the wife's at home watching the kiddo,
Yeah,
and
and we Skype
Skype.
twice a day.
Nice. You get to see the little guy.
Yep.
Does he show recognition on like FaceTime?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. I think so.
He seems to.
Or maybe he like enjoys looking at a cell phone. Or,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hard to tell a little
But
bit.
no, he seems like he lights up when he hears my voice.
That's awesome. What in the grand scheme? Because I know you're a music fan. Like, I'm curious, what you've been listening to lately that you might share with us, and if there's any players like in the world that you've been you feel like are maybe underrated or not that well known that you could tell us about.
I've been listening like a lot to Jacob Collier.
Okay. I know the name. I'm not familiar with the
like
music.
It's
What
a
style?
British young super genius,
Okay.
like multi-instrumentalist. Yeah, just like anyone listening, just check him out. Like
Okay.
he's ridiculously talented and writes some really beautiful stuff, and some stuff that is so insanely complex on every level. It's just mind-boggling. It's like it's the kind of talent that you would expect to show up every 500 years or so.
Wow. Jacob Collier.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds promising.
Yeah, I could tell you so much about him that I'm not even gonna start.
Okay.
He, 2 years ago, me and my wife drove down to Netherlands to see him play, because all the other shows were sold out, but I managed to find tickets to a show in Utrecht. So we drove down and saw him play with the symphonic orchestra,
Wow.
and it was absolutely glorious.
That sounds awesome.
Yep,
I love to hear that you said that you could just drive down to the Netherlands too. Like, how long is a drive for you?
Maybe like 12 hours or so.
Okay.
Yeah, we went to Gothenburg first. Like, it's like a 6-hour drive.
Mm-hmm.
Stayed at my brother's place, and then we took the ferry and drove some more hours.
Okay, that's really interesting. Hola. Fellow Swede just passing by while we're talking about Sweden. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. You must have smelt it. You must could have feel the energy.
Yep.
Yeah.
For as for guitar players, I don't find myself listening to guitar players all that much for some reason. I guess it's just like because that's my day job, you know, the lead guitar. So I'm sort of, my ears are a bit fed up with it, and sometimes I'm like, I can hear someone who's like ridiculously talented, but it's hard to take in because I've heard so much,
Right.
and that's a bit of a bummer.
Yeah, I think it's kind of, it might be akin to that thing where people kind of talk about like a mechanic works on everybody's cars but his own, in a weird way. And so like, you know, if you dabble with a certain genre or a certain instrument all the time, there's a point of burnout, a little bit, you know, fatigue maybe.
Yeah,
is
exactly. And I mean, I've started experimenting with playing in fifths. I tune my guitar in fifths,
Whoa.
like by a 6-string. So I tune it from a low G to a high F sharp. So like the top string is a whole note higher than a regular guitar,
Okay.
and the G is half step higher than on an 8-string. So basically, you get the same what do you call it? The same range as an 8-string, but on a 6-string plus a semitone.
Wow.
So
and you kind of sorted out scales looking at that
yeah,
too?
yeah. So I've been learning that to play chords and scales and
Wow.
stuff, and that, you know, helps me, you know, to feel like inspired,
Yeah.
because I mean all the stuff that you have in your fingers since always, all of that is out the window.
Yeah, you can't rely on any of that.
So that's really cool, and all the sounds you get are fresh.
Yeah. So that's akin to, I like using like Devin's tuning. He's got the C G C G C E. Like
Actually,
this.
I started by using like sort of a variation of that on a 6-string.
Oh, okay.
I tuned it like I didn't have that top third. I tuned it like a big power chord A E A E A E.
Okay, just kept it in A E. Okay,
Yeah,
got it.
and that was like fun, but also it felt like it was gonna be limiting, because you cannot transpose things onto like adjacent strings.
Right.
It's only when you skip a string that you can use the same patterns and fingerings. So then I figured like, why don't do fifth? Alan Holdsworth did fifth
Oh, you did?
quite a bit, yeah, especially when I played syntax.
Oh.
So then I'm gonna try to tune it in fifth, and I dig it.
That's really interesting. I'm gonna you're inspiring me to want to put a guitar in that tuning and
then like all
around with it.
the chord voicings, like all the intervals you get are like really wide and big. I mean, you cannot play, you know, a minor second on adjacent strings. You know, you're gonna fuck up your hand if you try stuff like that.
Yeah, it's gonna be too weird.
Yeah, so you have to like do it, you know, go the other way and have things like really spaced out.
I think that must be my main allure. The main allure for me to drop tunings, just like in the bottom strings when you do a drop D or whatever, is that it pulls intervals that are normally further apart closer together within those couple of strings, so the riffs kind of seem more interesting because you're kind of string skipping your intervallic.
And this is basically like a super drop tuning.
Super,
like,
yeah.
Like everything is drop tuned.
Right.
Pretty much.
Stacked
You know,
in that way. Okay, so the AE, and so do you do, what would it be from lowest to highest? What's the tuning?
G, D, A, E, B, F sharp.
Got it. Okay. All right, now that I got you saying that, then I can run the tape back and remember. I won't remember it right now, but that's great. And that's what a cool thing to like kind of spark inspiration and creativity if for the listeners out there that are maybe find themselves not like feeling super flowy with their creativity, open tunings and something like this with the fifths. That's one of the things that I remember when I was first getting into Ani DeFranco, like a totally the opposite of, she's not a shredder of any kind, but folk singer songwriter. She's got some 52 alternate tunings
holy crap.
that she writes in. Yeah, and I didn't know that actually until I was asked to be her guitar tech for a couple of I just fill in for a while because I helped design a guitar for her.
Oh wow!
And they handed me the first day. It said, "Okay, here's the book," and I still have it, and it's 52 different alternate tunings. And the way she's got it categorized is by songs. She'll have this song A, and then underneath it, when she plays it on this guitar, like on the baritone guitar, it's in this tuning. And the capo is on the 3rd fret. So as a guitar tech, I'm going to set up the guitar and hand her that guitar with that tuning with the capo.
But does she use like a lot of different tunings when she plays live? So like you have to change guitar like in between every song.
Yes, really hard gig actually.
Yeah.
She had six acoustic guitars, and one of them was a tiny old vintage tenor guitar, so it's only 4 strings, and it's AD is how she would use that tenor guitar.
Yeah.
And then and the baritone guitar was like somewhere, it was some version of B. She had like 4 or 5 different tunings for the baritone guitar. And then all of the rest of them were like regular 6-string guitars. One's a parlor, one's like, like a dreadnought, and one's something else. And but we'd change guitars and tunings in almost every song of the set. There would be a point in the middle of the set where she would kind of like keep it. Somebody would yell something, "Oh, play this song," and she like want to like do that for them. So she'd tell me, "Don't bring me the next one. We're gonna skip that song," and she would just tune on the fly. But while she had one guitar, I was constantly working up another guitar that was previously just in another tuning, and I'm trying to get it to sit without having to because there's not a lot of intonation opportunities on acoustic guitars, right? They kind of like either built well or not. And like so you just kind of retune and change strings every day and hope for the best. But the creativity level, like I understand now like why, because of people like her and Devin presenting these alternate tunings to me, it's like, wow, the intervallic spread gets shorter, and you're able to do these more interesting intervallic leaps and chords that are just really close together without trying too hard.
And it's also cool because, I mean, when you do something like that, you retune a string or all of the strings, you have to get out of your comfort zones, or if you take away a string or like whatever you do, like it's like you narrow down your choices and it's like you're forcing yourself into new areas, and that can be like so stimulating for creativity.
Building new neural pathways in the brain. I love that because it's like it's trying using a tool that you're familiar with while at the same time it being completely a new landscape all of a sudden too. Well, that's really cool. I appreciate you sharing the fifths idea. That's really cool. Did you have any other music that you've been listening to? I kind of skipped past that. I don't know if it was with Jacob Collier was your only suggestion at the moment.
And that is plenty.
That's plenty. Okay, that's because it's a full deal. Okay. Well, Per, I really appreciate you taking the time to come and kick it with me, especially in such a busy place where you got so many friends to go hang out with. We've only had like 30 of your friends drop by and try to get your attention while we're sitting in the booth. It's kind of interesting being on display here, huh?
Yep. Yeah.
We need next year we want to actually ask you guys to put in a hamster wheel, so we can be in our own hamster wheels.
That'd be awesome.
All right, and
Got to bring him back then.
getting our cardio in while we're doing our podcast.
Yeah,
That'd be kind of fun.
This is a nice little cage.
It is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I appreciate it. I appreciate much love to Gator Cases for hosting this whole thing and putting it together.
Yeah, and don't pee in their cases, cats.
Don't pee in their cases, cats.
Yeah.
It's not.
Thanks for having me, Chris.
You got it. I appreciate you, Per. Have a great day, man. I'll see you around the show.
You too.